Donald Trump's imperial designs on Gaza are finally out in the open. Donald Trump unveiled his newest, most extreme imperialist vision on Tuesday to take over the Gaza Strip, potentially by force, and turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. In other words, Gaza will be the United States ownership. Standing next to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who praised Trump as the greatest friend the country has ever had, the president lamented the reports that Gaza has been a symbol of death and destruction for so many decades, and then proposed moving out Palestinians so the United States can take over that piece of land and develop it. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable, Trump said in a press conference following the White House meeting with Netanyahu. He said, "We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal." The president continued, "We'll do a job with it too. We'll own it." The forcible removal of Palestinians from Gaza, which would defy international law, would be for their own good, Trump suggested. "They're living in hell and we'll make sure they're able to live in peace," Trump said. "We'll make sure it's done world class." It was a stunning proposal, even by Trump's standards, and it triggered international outrage in the Middle East and beyond. The notion of a dramatic Middle East intervention by the president who calls himself as an American first isolationist who would not get the U.S. involved in international conflicts also elicited pushback in Washington, even among some Republicans. There's probably a couple of kinks in that slinky. North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis told Politico, "We'll see what our Arab friends say about this," offered Senator Lindsey Graham. "I think most Southern Carolinians would probably not be excited about sending Americans to take over Gaza. I think that might be problematic," Graham said, but I'll keep an open mind." But that muted concern was telling. The GOP has so far let Trump do whatever he wants, and it would be a surprise if they moved to impose any meaningful constraints on his ambitions now. "The United States stands ready to lead," Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrote on X Tuesday night, "and make Gaza beautiful again." There was some of the usual conjecture about what Trump actually meant, whether to take it literally or seriously, whether he was bluffing, and he remains as always unpredictable. But his proposal does not seem to have been some unexpected improvised aside in the lead up to 2024 election, which played out amid anger over Democratic President Joe Biden's enablement of Netanyahu's war effort. Trump suggested to conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt that the Strip could be better than Monaco. As a developer, Trump said it could be the most beautiful place, the weather, the water, the whole thing, the climate. And his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, said earlier last year that Gaza's waterfront property could be very valuable from Israel's perspective. "I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up," Kushner said in an interview at Harvard University last February. According to Puck News, Tara Palmieri, the idea behind Trump's Gaza proposal came from Kushner himself, who was involved in preparing the president's Tuesday evening remarks. Netanyahu, for his part, appeared to welcome it. Trump sees a different future of that piece of land that has been the focus of so much terrorism, so many attacks against us, so many trials, and so many tribulations, the Israeli prime minister said. He has a different idea, and I think it's worth paying attention to this. "I think it's something," Netanyahu said, "that could change history." And simply by floating the takeover, Trump not only further complicated the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, but broke with decades of American diplomatic goals with the Middle East, where to carry out this proposed plan, it would violate the Geneva Conventions and mark an even more abhorrent turn in American policy in the region. This president is openly calling for ethnic cleansing, Democratic Representative Rashid Tlaib, who is Palestinian-American, wrote. "It's unclear where things go from here." Trump, who presented himself as a peace through strength dove intent on ending the era of endless wars, would be undertaking a development project and that his own officials say would take a decade or longer to complete. In his remark Tuesday, he lambasted bad leadership in the Middle East, including by America, which never should have gone there in there a long time ago, spent trillions of dollars and created so much turmoil. but he himself is proposing an extraordinarily costly, dramatic interventions, one that would carry an unspeakable humanitarian toll. But Trump, whose expansionist fantasies include buying Greenland and annexing the Panama Canal, need not resolve the contradictions between his promises and his proposals. He's utterly unbounded at home. The president is practically daring somebody in power to finally tell him no. And at least at this point, it does not seem like anybody will tell him no. And this is from Vanity Fair on DNYUZ. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.